What's going on, everybody? It's me, Tristan.
Me, Jackson.
We are here at Ministry Design's current location, soon to change. We're going to talk to Tyler and Vinny, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start off with just a little brief background about both of you.
Yeah, so I've been in Battle Creek all my life, and we started Ministry Designs about 6.5 years ago. It was I was a part of a church for a long time, and realized that there was like no real effective communication tools to build out specifically for the church. And so basically bothered Vinny until he agreed to come on board with me. He was down in Kentucky on a diving scholarship down there, and worked hard to convince him to come back to Battle Creek to partner up with me on the project. And thankfully he decided to do that. And we work with a little over 2,000 churches now with a technology stack built specifically for them. So it's a website editor, CRM component, and then online giving. So yeah, it's fun, man.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, so you said 6 years ago you started this and you saw a hole in the market. What was the exact moment that you were like, oh, this is something we need to go into right now?
Yeah, so it kind of happened slowly. So I have always done like digital marketing and search engine optimization primarily. And so, I was kind of always evaluating different products on the market and different scenarios, and knew that search engine optimization was critical for the church, and was kind of looking at, I'm competent with WordPress and different open source products. And kind of once you get beyond, well, this was 6 years ago, so there was really no like drag and drop interface on WordPress and things like that. So once you get into the back end of work, we could set it up for the church, and that's what we were doing. Is I was doing that, kind of on the side, and you would set it up, and then it would be turned into a nightmare because they wouldn't have any idea how to admin the whole, the product once it was done. And so, friends with a developer, and built the product for us, and it just kind of evolved slowly but surely.
All right, so you said that was 6 years ago. How long did it really take you to start building up your client list?
Yeah, it was really like a hustle. Like we would send thousands of emails a day. I would call him and be like, okay, like here, like I've scraped 3,000 emails today. I need you to just bang these emails out and just let them know what we're doing.
Well, so what was actually funny was I was still in college when I started working with Tyler. So I remember a specific instance where we had to essentially just try to email as many or contact as many churches as we possibly could. And what would happen is the IP address would actually end up getting blocked. So what I ended up doing was going to campus and actually moving from building to building and shooting out all of these emails until they got blocked, and then I just pack up and move to another building, and did that literally for I don't know how many days. But yeah, I still see IP addresses and emails in my nightmares.
That's crazy. That's the hustle right there. Like you said, going from building to building to make sure you can get your client list out there.
Well, the reality is, search engine optimization, that was kind of my skill set, and it just takes a long time, right? Like when you do it effectively. And so now if you were to look at us, like church website design, church websites for churches, we're in like the top 3 on all those search terms. So like those search terms have a significant amount of volume every month. And that was the goal, right? Like we were working toward that, but we knew that we wanted to be in this space. And so we were just trying to get our name out there. And that was really before, Facebook marketing. And so we were trying to, ultimately what we were doing was trying to drive traffic to our website so that we could remarket to people. And just kind of get the word out there.
So for people that don't know, what is search engine optimization or SEO, and why is that important for your website?
Yeah, it's critical. It's where your website returns in the search engine results, right? So for example, if somebody is searching for something specifically, they're going to turn to Google. Actually, in a local context, the way that we apply it to the church 90% of website traffic still comes, I should probably talk closer to the mic, I'm gonna move up a little bit. 90% of website traffic still comes from a search engine. So whether it's an auto mechanic, a contractor, or a church, whatever the context is, 90% of that traffic is still gonna come from a search engine. So if you're obscure or don't exist on Google, or primarily Google, you're not gonna have any, you're missing out on a large portion of the potential traffic.
So, very important.
Yeah.
I have been looking into it recently on ours. I have no clue what the hell I'm doing.
It is complex, man. It does take time, for sure.
And Google is constantly changing too, right? So it's not like once you know SEO, you know SEO. It's if you're not learning every day about what's happening, then you're going to fall behind. And I mean, really, if you can market yourself on the internet, you can basically do whatever you want these days. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to,
Yeah.
I mean, even if there's a small niche market, I mean, there's people out there that love socks knitted into forms of cats. Like, I mean, you can literally find whatever you want to do on the internet as long as you can market yourself well. I mean, you're going to be successful. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
we're
kinda-
lucky to have somebody who knows the ins and outs of everything. Even though Google, I think, is just now changing something as well. Which
Yeah,
is a nightmare.
they actually update their algorithm like 900 times a year.
wow.
Some are like major updates. Some
We've
are
got
very
some horror
minor.
stories with that. I remember when we first started out, our site actually dropped out of the rankings due to an algorithm that we weren't privy to. And we were in the middle of doing some stuff with the server, and it was just when Tyler and I were working together. And I mean, that's kind of like when we had finally got a foothold on the internet, we disappeared. And like, I mean, that's kind of where you get all your business from.
Right.
So we were like panicking, running around, because at that time it was, you know, we sold whatever we could, and then that's what we got paid for that week, essentially. So, I mean, it was, you know,
The dark days.
work to eat, essentially. So it was scary, and that happens. I mean, all the time. Google does a really good job of trying to make sure that, you know,
You're not gaming the system.
what's out there is real. Yeah.
So how do you, if they're changing it not 100 times a year, it's average, 300 times a day?
Well,
Or
yeah.
three days?
Yeah, three days.
Wow.
Right.
Can't do that.
No, that's all right. So they're not major like updates, right? So they're like constantly evolving. Like the most notable was about probably 5 years ago. Pretty well back to back. They had a penguin update and a panda update. That's what they called them. And one of them was like to determine whether or not you were keyword stuffing or kind of over. Yeah, basically they're both to determine whether or not you're cheating the system. And there are various ways to do that. And it happens for so long. People like coach on these bad strategies, and you just think that like if you're learning it, that it's like common practice. So you're like following along, and ultimately like one day you just damage your website and it's gone, and then you're like, what do I do? You know, like, oh, I guess we're not going to eat this week, kind of thing. So, but the majority of them are very minor, just constant shifts to try to keep people kind of off tilter so that you don't manipulate the system.
So do they like do press releases on these changes, or do you just have to find out?
So they do announce like not every single
Okay,
change,
right.
but like a big change that's happening into 2020 is like page dwell time. So for example, basically what they're going to be doing is they're calling it rank brain, and they're following people from the search engine onto your website and then monitor how they interact with your website. And so if they have bounce rate has kind of always been an indicator, but now they're trying to pay attention a little bit more about what they do when they get to your website so they can be more accurate in the results that they return.
Okay. That's so much for a website. But like you said, it's your lifeblood. That's
Right.
how you make money. So you have to pay attention to that stuff. So you keep saying Google ranking. How do you find that out?
There are a number of tools. Free SEO or SEO Review Tools is a free tool. SEOReviewTools.com is what it is, and it's a free tool. And you can kind of crawl your website, and it'll spit out a bunch of results. Most of it is, some of it's pretty advanced information that you would only use like if you're really kind of pursuing a strategy. But then as you kind of move along, there are paid tools that you use to like monitor everything. But for somebody that just wants some basic information, they can go to SEOreviewtools.com and get what they need.
So, so you guys are brothers, obviously. So are we. You said that you guys were just working together at one point. At what point did you guys realize you needed to expand the workforce, and how did you attack that problem?
When you don't sleep and you realize you can probably delegate some of the stuff that you do. No, I mean, for us, it's always been, we want to try to run as lean as we possibly can. So we try to automate all of our processes and things like that. So since we do everything strictly online, there's a ton of stuff that you can do to really kind of weed out extra personnel or, increasing your overhead. So when we realized, there were some things that we just were outside of our grasp to try to get done in one day, we were smart enough to realize that if we just added a few more people to the team, that we could grow exponentially. So, I think for the first like year and a half or so, it really was just him and I. And then we kind of had some people come and go. Just because we are so, since we were so young, we were extremely agile as well, since we were so small. So we could change really quickly to stay ahead of trends and things like that in the market. But, we wanted to make sure that we had the right fit as well, right? So I think we have a really unique environment here. So that's not always the best fit for everybody as well. And that's all right, So, but we work extremely hard, and we're always off the cuff, so we always are changing things quickly because we can, and that gives us a really competitive advantage in the market as well. But we're blessed right now to be able to have a strong team of people that are willing to kind of bounce around with us, which is awesome. So,
how many people are on the team?
So in our immediate office, usually there's 5, and that's really like a management core. And then we have, designers and developers, and a support team that isn't really in our office. They're all over the world actually. But our core management team is 5, and that's who's in the office. And so each one of them would primarily have a team.
Good.
So.
What kind of challenges do you guys face with having such a worldwide workforce?
Language barrier sometimes. No, cultural barriers.
It's actually quite. Honestly, it's I was joking around with him. I mean, it's incredible the resources that people have nowadays that they don't really take advantage of, right? I mean, like because we have people all over the world. Ministry Designs never sleeps. Like it's constantly growing, which is crazy. I mean, and I know. Him and I both have been in the office. It's not uncommon for us to be in the office at 2, 3, 4 in the morning to make sure things are going smoothly. But definitely interesting is just learning other cultures and how they operate, how they work, their holiday systems, things like that. Yeah. Just not the attitude, but the sensitivity to certain things as well has been really interesting to kind of navigate through, because we as Americans are kind of brutes and we just kind of get through stuff, and we're not, we're growing more sensitive every day, but it's impressive. I mean, you work with a team overseas, and all of a sudden you ask them to do something, there's a whole different, they'll tell you one thing, but because they're scared to say no or something like that. So you kind of have to weed through how they kind of navigate conversations, which is really interesting. But I mean, I think we've navigated it pretty well. I've got friends now all over the world, which is really cool to say. So
yeah, absolutely.
So one of your guys' next steps is actually moving out of here and moving into the record box. So kind of lay out for us how that happened.
Yeah. We're unbelievably excited to get down there, and the main reason that we want to get down there are a couple of them. I think the first one is we do a lot of our own marketing collateral. So we, marketing videos or promo videos and those type of things. And we really wanted a more creative space for that. Outside of this office, we actually we just closed it, another one of the suites in the Cherry Point building here, it was kind of our studio. And it was kind of like one stale background, one video over and over and over with different words, right? And so that's one of the things that we're really looking forward to, is kind of expanding into some creative ways to communicate and market what we're doing. The other thing is, we're opening our space up as kind of a collaborative workspace. And the reason that we wanted to do that is because we genuinely care about seeing the success of Battle Creek. The fact is we were actually going to move the office to Grand Rapids. I live in Richland now with my family, and Vinny likes Grand Rapids better than Battle Creek because there's more opportunity up there for a good-looking guy like him. But with everything that's happening, we wanted to stay in town and try to support other entrepreneurs, help them build businesses. Once you figure out like the code to the internet, it's like a video game. Like you like play the video game, and then you have the cheat codes, and then you just grow some more, and then you find out some more cheat codes, and then you grow some more. And the way to do that is by having good mentors or good resources to kind of lean on. And we want to be that for people that want to start business in Battle Creek, because we've gone through let's bang out these 10,000 emails in a week, and let's, all of that stuff.
We've learned what not to do. That's
so,
what was it Thomas Edison said? I learned 1,000 ways not to build a light bulb.
Yeah.
So that's, really, it's trial and error. And if you're uncomfortable with failing, you're never going to succeed.
Right.
It's just kind of the facts. So, we failed a lot.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Should learn something every time.
Every time,
Yeah.
yeah. And so we wanted to open that space up just because it's such a cool spot, and allow people that are starting businesses, whether in whatever industry, to come and hang out in our environment, either watch us operate, bounce ideas off us, and really provide that kind of creative opportunity for them as well.
So it'll be just kind of much bigger than where we're at now, but you'll have your offices, and it's going to be other random people working on their thing as well in the same spot.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I actually like that kind of setup, because it's like I said, it was kind of like a library in college, where you go there and like you're all around people that are kind of tackling the similar goal.
Yeah.
They're trying to get their homework done, and so it puts you in that mindset. But it's also not at home where you might be it's been 5 minutes, let me go.
Yeah, the goal really is to try to breed productivity as well, right? If you're in a space with other motivated people with what they're trying to do, it's natural to try to continue to be as motivated as they are, whatever it may be. And being a collaborative workspace, you can then bounce resources off of each other, right? So if I need a logo designed and you need help finding a new house or something, because you're real, you can share those kind of experiences for free, which helps you then both grow.
Right.
So it's really going to give anybody that joins the space the leverage over who's not in the space, because they can take advantage of those kind of trading of resources or trading of services, so to speak. So it's going to be really exciting to see the kind of people that are already going in there. We already have a software developer going in there, so we've got a bunch of different people from all walks of life that are excited to be able to work together in that space. So it's going to be cool.
It's an amazing spot too. We were in there the other day. The Newmans gave us kind of a quick glance. It looks awesome.
Should be nice. It'll be nice when there's furniture in there. We're currently in the process of trying to figure out what we want the furniture to look like.
Yeah, I saw possibly a pool table.
Yeah.
Somebody was like,
there's a split decision on the pool table. He thinks it's a good idea for some reason. So
I don't think it's a bad idea. Somebody suggested ping pong table, and I was like, the pool table, at least the balls stay on the table.
Right.
Ping pong, people getting hit in the face with ping pong balls.
Someone hit it real quick.
Yeah, and I get real competitive with that kind of stuff too. So I wouldn't want to have to hurt anybody.
Heard there was a competition for the best office in the space too. Who ended up winning?
Oh, there
corner
should have been a
office.
competition. There was a coin flip, which Tyler ended up winning. He's the older brother, so you know what? He deserves it.
Got the corner office. Figured nobody was going to give me one, so we went and built one.
That's the way to do it, right? All right.
Yeah, well, we are really pumped to have you guys joining us downtown.
Yeah.
Just more people down there working will be a great thing.
For everyone.
Yeah, for everybody down
Yeah.
there.
Well, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. This the awareness, bringing awareness to all of the stuff that's happening, the podcast, the kind of the buzz that you guys are building is. We're excited to be a part of what's happening downtown, and you guys are definitely part of that. So thankful for the opportunity for sure.
Yeah, thank you. So we always end with the same two questions. One, what was the biggest
Setback or failure that propelled you to greater success? And then just the second one is just an easy layup. What is some advice be it personal or business, that you would give someone?
Yeah.
Biggest setback. There, like when you say that, there's like so many that kind of rush through my head. I can't really think of the biggest one.
So like ours, we went to a trade show, thought we were gonna make a lot of money selling bags. It was our first show, made $0, but we had a chance to sit down and talk about what was our next step, and that ended up being our cold brew, which has propelled us forward.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
I think, we spent a lot of money on development resources before we figured out what we were, like a lot of money, before we actually built a team. And at one point we were just so discouraged by the whole process. I'm like, I tell him at least 3 times a month, like, dude, I just want to go cut grass. Like, this software stuff is way too hard. So I think building an efficient team was one of the hardest things that we ever did, and it's certainly the reason that we have the success that we do.
Absolutely, and I think understanding a solid hiring process as well helped. We went through a period where we found some people that we thought were great. We didn't really, we had some mentors that really taught us how to vet people based on personality traits and things like that have really gave us a leg up, I think, in the industry, because we have an amazing team of people that makes this thing run every day, right? It's not just us anymore. So I wouldn't call it a failure when you hire the wrong person, but hiring the right person is going to be your greatest investment as a business owner. So, I think the people that we have around us definitely, contribute to the success that we have today. So,
Absolutely. Then what was the layout?
Just some general advice, personal or business, for anybody.
Don't work with your brother.
Especially an older one.
Yeah, well.
Layout?
Business advice. So it's funny because somebody from the community called me and asked me they wanted me to come speak at some college prep type thing, and I said, well, unfortunately, I'm probably not the right person for that interview. I said, I actually didn't go to college, and most of the time I think it's a waste of time. Now, I'm not suggesting that it is, but unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, if you want to start a business, everything you need to find is on the internet.
Yeah.
So invest in yourself, self-education, save yourself the $60,000 in debt, and go do what you want to do and work your ass off until it happens.
And do what you love too, right? If you do something that you love doing, then they always say you don't work a day in your life. That's not true. Even though if you love something, it's it's going to grind you down sometimes. Right. But balance and perspective, I think, are the 2 biggest things for me. You can always sit too close to something and it seems overwhelming, but if you take some time to have some balance in your life and you gain perspective on the situation, most of the time the things that seem like a mountain are just a molehill if you just get some perspective on it, right?
Don't stop. That's it. Don't stop. Just keep going.
Yeah, the people that succeed in life are the people that just don't stop. You sit and look at TV and you're like, how did that moron become a millionaire? Well, because maybe he was just too dumb to stop. Honestly, half the time you see those people that are rich and famous, it's because they just never stopped.
Persistence.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that would probably be it. And I know that's kind of like an easy answer, but it's true. Like if you have something set and you have a goal set and you have a plan to achieve that goal and you just don't stop, you're going to succeed.
Yeah, it's an easy answer, but not an easy road.
Absolutely.
Right.
So most definitely.
That's right.
I think that's pretty good to end on there.
Where can everybody listening, watching find your guys' collaborative space or ministry designs?
Yeah, go ahead. You can tell me about the Collab space.
So you can go to Collab BC. It's COLLABBC.com. We got all of our membership stuff on there. If you want to take a tour of the space, there's a calendar on there. Feel free to schedule a tour. We'll walk you through it and you can check it out. It's all going to be locked down once we open, so you are going to have to be let into the space so that everything's secure in there. But we'd be more than happy to show you around. It's going to be pretty neat.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Then Ministry Designs, ministrywebsitedesigns.com, ministrydesigns.com, it all leads back to the same place.
You got to buy more than one domain name.
Definitely. It's another piece of advice. Buy every domain name you can as it relates to your topic.
Yeah, because once somebody gets one that you need, and then it's kind of hard to hunt it down. We've had experience with that.
All right, perfect. Thank you guys very much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. that's it. So thank you everybody for joining us again today. That's going to be it, and take it easy.